Hey guys, what's up? We are back with some more reactions after dark, and we are of course going to be watching Disturbing Things I Found on the Internet, Volume 16, obviously by Lazy Masquerade, though, of course, it has been like, what, 4 days since we've done like a Stephanie thing. I'm pretty sure everyone is about to get their pitchforks and torches out, because you know how long it's been, but I'm kind of like burning the candle on both ends with all the stuff that's going on in real life and trying to keep up, keep doing these videos every day. So I'm kind of like staying away from doing like the long stuff. Obviously, we streamed for like 2 hours last night, but that's like in real time, so it's easier to do that. Uh, but yeah, I will try to do the newest Rotten Mango video because she uploaded a video the other day tomorrow. Like, I will try to do that, if not even just live. But we are still continuing to do all this stuff. Because, of course, Lazy just uploaded video too. Everyone's just uploading a new video. We got a new Nick video, which we did the other day. New Lazy video, which obviously we're doing now. And a new Rotten Mango video, which I, again, will try to do tomorrow. Like, hopefully we'll get around to that tomorrow. And everybody can celebrate and throw a party. But we are doing this today. How long has it been since we've done a Lazy Masquerade video? I don't know. I feel like it's been a while. I mean, it's obviously been a while since we've done the Stephanie video now, like 4 days, but still.
On the morning of March 22nd, 2024.
Because it is called the Wasco leg incident, or Wasco? How do you say that?
Residents of Wasco, California,
Wasco.
woke up to a scene straight out of a nightmare. At just after 8 a.m., an Amtrak train roared through the station at G Street and 7th, striking 48-year-old Horacio Ayala Peñalosa after he wandered too close to the tracks.
Okay, so this is the leg incident, so does that mean his leg is going to be dismembered? Question mark. Is he still alive?
Witnesses described how one moment he was there, walking his bike and chatting with someone on a nearby bench, and the next, he was gone, the violent impact leaving his body catastrophically torn apart. It was an image seared into their memories. But as horrifying...
Okay, so I'm thinking no, he got hit by the train, and possibly is gone. Though, like, just hearing the term the Wasco leg incident made it seem like a leg, unfortunately, went flying. I know we're just trying to like figure out what's going on here. A leg went flying, and that had some sort of impact on someone, or like someone saw it, or something like that.
Horrifying as the incident was, what happened next would leave both eyewitnesses and investigators even more scarred. As emergency crews...
What is this going on there, Dak?
...arrived to secure the scene, onlookers noticed another man, 27-year-old Rosendo Tejas, walking among the wreckage. And what he did defies belief. Tejas spotted one of the victim's severed legs on the track, picked it up, and in a grotesque act of disrespect, began parading it through the streets in broad daylight. Construction workers nearby recalled him sniffing it, swinging it in the air like a trophy, and even slamming it against a wall.
Like, what is he doing in there? Also, viewer discretion is advised. I wasn't expecting this video to just immediately be this horrific. Because I thought, like, oh yeah, maybe he lost a leg. No, he just got sent all over the place. But, like, what is he even doing there? Is he on drugs? Because he's bent over as if he is on, some messed up drugs. I don't know.
And this wasn't just a fleeting moment of madness, though. Eyewitnesses say Tejas, who already had a warrant out for his arrest, continued brandishing the leg in front of bystanders, waving it around and chewing on it, all while laughing and daring people to intervene. Disturbing video footage shows him eating the leg on the street, biting off pieces and screeching at passers-by. All of this happened just steps away from police and railroad investigators who were still processing the train strike. Kern County Sheriff's deputies, along with the railroad police, soon heard about what was happening and closed in. When asked whose foot he was carrying, Tejas replied, "My own." The suspect was taken into custody near 7th and F, and the partially gnawed leg and foot were recovered.
Does this count as Can he get like a mark on cannibalism? Because he technically was doing that. I feel like he needs to get like multiple hits, not just whatever he's getting. He needs to also get cannibalism stacked on top of that, and whatever you get for that. Can we? Is that a federal crime? Hopefully it is, so that he actually gets a lot of time.
As would come to light, Tejas was a homeless man who, just hours before the incident, was seen acting normally at a liquor store. After interviewing witnesses and reviewing CCTV footage, it was determined that Tejas hadn't played a role in the victim's death, which was,
Yeah, of course not.
was ultimately ruled accidental. Unbelievably, there just so happened to be an opportunistic cannibal nearby when the collision occurred. Tejas was arrested on multiple other charges though, including the removal of human remains from outside a cemetery, destruction of evidence, and resisting or obstructing an officer.
Moving remains from a cemetery. That's not what happened. How can you just use such a specific term for something that has nothing to do with that? Yeah, removing remains from a crime scene, that makes sense. Not necessarily a crime scene, but just like a crime scene slash tragic incident. You know, a police investigation or medical investigation. You can use any sort of terms, but remains from a cemetery. That's basically grave robbing. You're saying he's grave robbing, but this is not a grave. That's weird. I'm guessing it just has like a full blanket of situation that can be applied to. It's just the name itself doesn't make any sense. Name it something else.
In handcuffs, he claimed that he was simply taking the leg to the hospital. Once booked into jail, additional charges were added for attempting to smuggle in controlled substances. It's believed they played a role in his decision-making that morning.
Hello, what about cannibalism?
While much of the media coverage focused on the bizarre aftermath of the crash, it's important to remember that at the center of this story was a man who lost his life. Horacio Ayala Peñalosa had lived in Kern County for many years, and his sudden death shocked those who knew him. Friends and neighbors described him as a quiet, hard-working man who largely kept to himself, but was well-liked in his community. In May 2024, just weeks after the incident, Tejas entered a no-contest plea. He was sentenced to 1 year in county jail, with credit for time already served and good behavior.
That's it, a year for parading someone's severed leg around and consuming some of it? Like desecration of the dead, which is what they should have said. On his like one of his things he got, not like grave robbing, but desecration of the dead. Like really, a year for that? Yeah, there we go. The OBS just it just crashed. So let me fix that. Okay, I just had to switch audio, but I'm just making sure that the audio on Chrome actually is muted. But yeah, I don't know why. It's like 8 minutes in the video, OBS already broken.
Sentenced to 1 year in county jail, with credit for time already served and good behavior. He's already back on the streets as we speak.
Again, like really, just that's all it took. Just 1 year, already back on the streets, if that. Also, the video is just like weirdly quiet right here. It's yeah.
Next, I want to talk about one of the
Because it wasn't like me. I was like, why is there no audio playing? Is this an ad?
most disturbing industries again: data brokers.
I think we're doing an ad, so I think we're just going to cut ahead. I'm gonna pause here and then we can skip to when that's over. I do have a link here though. It's or.com/lazy.
Or to start scrubbing your personal info off these data broker sites automatically.
The JP live stream is. We're already talking about this. This was uploaded a day ago. If this is what I think it is, this man, spoilers, again, spoilers, is no longer of this world, at which that happens, was that like a week ago? If that? Like this happened a few days ago, if this is who I'm thinking of. We have a massive section on this, just this video alone, which is weird. Yeah, this just happens. I'm like, really? We're really jumping on that right now instead of like waiting for it to fully get developed? I guess there isn't really much to say. Like, it's kind of like cut and dry what happens.
Raphael Graven, better known online as Jean Parmenov, or JP, wasn't always one of France's most talked about streamers. In his early years, he'd served in the military, an institution where he struggled to fit in, and where he reportedly endured relentless bullying. But what Raphael lacked in social skills, he made up for with a big heart.
That's kind of like already an issue if you know how the story goes. The fact if he was already being bullied, potentially his entire life, and what happened to him at the end is kind of like, oof, really? The guy couldn't catch a break ever?
Following his time in the army, he turned his attention to online platforms, playing games and chatting candidly with fans, and he was incredibly successful with it. By the early 2020s, Jean Parmenov had become a fixture of Twitch, where he amassed an impressive following of 670,000 viewers. Eventually, he migrated to Kick, a platform known for its looser moderation rules. There, his combination of humor and unpredictable challenge segments helped him build a huge audience. By 2023, he was the most watched French creator on the site, and regularly ranked among the site's global leaders.
I didn't realize he was like one of the number ones, or just at the top.
The content seemed like typical internet showmanship. Light-hearted dares, over-the-top stunts, and long-running streams that played into the chaotic nature of Kick. But when JP began collaborating with two figures in particular, known as Owen Naruto Senazandotti and Safin Hamadi, the tone shifted. What began as edgy humor started to look more like harassment.
Yeah, before we even get to this, like, are these guys in jail? Can they go to jail, please?
On stream, Jean would be taunted, slapped, doused with liquids, shot with paintball guns at close range, subjected to shocks, and even throttled, with Naruto and Safin trying to set suffocation records. At one point,
I was like, yeah, can we even show this? Like, he is censoring it, but...
Naruto even had to stop Safin from choking JP, exclaiming, "Wait, he's gonna die." I'm not gonna show any of that footage here on YouTube, but trust me, it is very hard to sit through.
I feel like you should have just, like, censored the entire screen, not just
Both
that little
Naruto and
piece.
Safin were well aware that Jean suffered from heart problems, and yet they continued to subject him to more and more extreme treatment. The attacks weren't just physical, they were also psychological, with Jean's intelligence, speech difficulties, and desire to marry and start a family being the subject of endless ridicule. They once made and sold merch featuring the face of Jean's sick father without telling him, and invited teenage subscribers into the studio to laugh at his discomfort. They even laughed when Jean found out live on stream that his dog had died. His torment and exhaustion became part of the spectacle, and the crueler it got, the bigger the audience grew. Viewers tuned in daily, not just to watch Jean play games, but to watch him be broken down on camera, explode in a sudden burst of frustration, and then be put back in his place. Thousands laughed, cheered, and donated as the humiliation escalated over the course of months. What was framed as entertainment began to feel like a slow-motion train wreck, and through it all,
I was like, not even saying anything because I just so just like zoned out at like this entire situation, because I think everybody on the internet, they know about anything that has to do with being a content creator / live streaming. They know about this event that just literally happened a few days ago, and it's just like, again, can we give these guys at least like 10 years in jail? At least, just banned on all platforms, 10 years in jail. Once they're out of jail, they're not allowed to be influencers / content creators anymore. Please.
Jean carried on streaming. According to reports, Naruto and Safin took over the channel, and the majority of the profits, leaving Jean financially dependent on them, while reminding him that without them, he'd wind up being homeless or worse. Whenever
Literally didn't need them to begin with.
he tried to leave or refused to participate, they'd lock him out, steal his car, and harass his family. Though many assumed Jean was simply acting up for the camera, playing the part of the punching bag for views, others were concerned how real the torment appeared. In their minds, Jean was being manipulated. By his own admission, JP struggled to fit in. He was extremely lonely. He wanted friends, family, connection. In the minds of many, Naruto and Safin took advantage of that. So, when the journal Mediabar wrote an article about the situation and got the police involved, Jean protected them, telling detectives that all the violence was staged to create buzz.
And kind of unfortunate
Yet despite
that, he's sticking up for them, especially after what happens. Again, like he said, he has art issues, and that you need to keep that in mind for what ends up happening.
Jean protected them, telling detectives that all the violence was staged to create buzz. Yet despite his words, evidence suggests that he was more of a hostage than a willing participant.
I forget, that's how the media was like phrasing this situation, as that he's literally being held hostage by these two / group. I don't know if it's just them two or like an entire group further than that, but he's basically being held hostage by these two. I mean, they have his money, basically his channel, like he has to stick around and just be tormented by them just to keep surviving. Again, like he apparently he didn't even need them. He was like one of the top streamers on Kick before they even showed up. I'm assuming, right? So it's just like, oof.
As things escalated, Jean, well, Raphael, sent his mother a text in which he wrote, "Hi Mum, how are you? Stuck for a bit in Naruto's death game. It's going too far. I feel like I'm kidnapped with their shitty concept. I'm fed up. I want to get out of here. The other guy won't let me. He's keeping me locked in." By August 2025,
Yeah, like literally held hostage. August 2020, August 25, right? Or what did you say? Did you, did you say 2025 or did you just say like August 25th?
He's keeping me locked in. By August 2025.
Okay, he's just touting August. I mean, it just turned September. It literally is September 1st today, but like I said, this literally just happened a few days ago.
The cycle had reached its peak. Jean and Co. launched an ultra-marathon broadcast that stretched on for nearly 12 days. Viewers watched as he was beaten, forced to ingest toxic products, and constantly deprived of sleep. As days passed, he slurred words, struggled to keep moving, and was literally withering in front of everyone's eyes.
Yeah, with heart problems, like sleep I think is really bad for your heart. I can honestly contest that from personal experience even. So I feel like you know what's coming, right?
And yet, the cameras kept rolling. His diminishing health was obvious to everyone, including...
How long into this like marathon did it take before the event happens?
Those inside the room with him, with Naruto at one point stating, "Say on camera right now that if you die tomorrow in the middle of a livestream, it's because of your state of health and not because of us." Jean initially refused, but Naruto kept pushing. "We're in the middle of a live show. You get angry, start screaming, and go into cardiac arrest. People are going to take it out on us when it's due to your 46 years of miserable life."
Yeah, actually saying that on camera. Like, I think they're trying to... Now that I'm hearing this, like, I don't know the entire story. I feel like they're trying to kill him live on camera for views. And they're trying to get some sort of like evidence to be like, hey, look, he said that if he dies on camera, it's his fault, not ours. So we don't need to be in trouble. Right? Even though you're literally on camera coercing him to say that. So I don't think that's going to hold up in court.
This was clearly an attempt to absolve themselves of any responsibility when, not if, the worst happened. On August 18th, with the on-screen counter showing almost 300 hours of continuous broadcast and over 36,000 euros worth of donations, Jean began exhibiting breathing difficulties, and at one point asked to be taken to the hospital. His request was ignored. Later, he collapsed live on camera, and instead of help, his so-called friends kept streaming before going to bed in the same room. Those tuned in sent donations, urging the others to check on JP. 50 minutes later, Naruto responded by throwing a water bottle at Jean's head while asking, "Is he dead?" When he didn't...
Is he off camera? When I see this scene, I thought this is just a bed with him laying in it, but no, they're all just laying down, and he's laying off camera.
They checked his vital signs. The atmosphere became tense, and the stream cut to black. Hours later, Naruto made an announcement on Instagram.
Rot. That's all I have to say. Because of, excuse me, I've always dreaded the day I'd have to write these words. Didn't we just hear that they were literally saying some messed up stuff? I mean, they've been torturing and abusing this guy for who knows how long, and then literally said on stream, like he's just living a miserable life, and it's like your fault if you die. It's not ours. Blah, blah, like literally just not caring about the fact that he could die from this. Like admitting to it on stream, and it's like, oh, I've always dreaded this day. Rot. I haven't used that word on these videos before, but like this one is just, this video is already just too much. We've just been taking it too easy for like too long, I think, because we had, you know, so many Stephanie Sue videos back to back to back just about silly drama and stuff, and then yesterday was like 2 hours of like stupid, like silly ghost videos, scary videos. And we had like ghost videos at some point earlier too. So we haven't had like just a terrible, horrible event kind of video in a while. I mean, we kind of like the Nick Crowley video. I don't even remember what happened in the Nick Crowley video, but this first video with the Wasco incidents, that was already like Jesus Christ. But like bringing up this, even though I already knew about this event, like the finer details are just like, just Jesus Christ, like really. Yeah, again, just rot. And at the end of the end of the Nick Crowley video, I said like, we need to get these 3 out of here. Like, what is the title of that video? I've removed these 3 from existence or something. I think. So I did. Well, we did have some sort of like messed up stuff in that video, and I even like got kind of mad. Like me saying that stuff was like, you could argue maybe getting mad. Like I am kind of mad now with this, which I guess I don't really express. But yeah, just like, again, just rot. Get these guys off the platform. Get them arrested. I hope that they're arrested because we're barely over halfway of this segment, and there's still a lot left. So I'm hoping that somewhere in here, in this section here, they're like, yeah, they are currently under investigation / in custody or something. Because like, come on, like for the love of God, get these guys out of here.
Unfortunately, JP has left us. I love you, my brother, and we will miss you terribly.
I wanna. What is he reading that? Right? I'm just gonna read this whole thing
He
if he
also
doesn't
urged
read it.
viewers not to share clips of Jean's final moments out of...
Okay, so I've always dreaded the day I'd have to write these words. Sadly, last night, JP left us. My brother, my sidekick, my partner, 6 years side by side. So 6 years of tormenting this man. Like, literally 6 years of tortured pornography. And you're writing this nonsense. Like, oh my god. Never letting go. I love you, my brother, and we will miss you terribly. I ask you all to respect his memory and not share the video of his last breath in his sleep. For his family and for us, his second family, rest in peace. Second family, can you, again, get out of here. Rest in peace, my brother Owen. But yeah, these guys.
of respect, which many interpreted as damage control. Following an autopsy, it was determined that there were no fatal injuries, no blow that killed Jean, and that his COD was likely medical and/or toxicological in nature. Yet despite having defenders, many believe that Naruto and Safin should still face criminal charges.
Yeah. I mean, they've been literally, he isn't pressing charges, so there's nothing he can do, right? But literally took control of all his money, been beating him for 6 years, I think. Just tormenting this man for 6 years. This middle-aged man, even. I mean, he's not necessarily a senior yet, but he's pretty old compared to these youngins here in their 20s. Like, literally just beating and treating this man horribly for 6 years, and then at the end, just treating him so poorly that his heart just gives out because he has heart conditions. And even saying, I think what they said on camera made it seem like they were trying to kill him to get him out of the way. Finally get him out of the way. So they could just have full control over his channel. I feel like. I don't know.
Arguing that their treatment of Jean likely exacerbated his medical conditions. Indeed, he had repeatedly stated that he was feeling increasingly stressed doing the live streams, and near the end was constantly looking for ways out, yet the others kept finding ways to reel him back in. Others attributed the same blame to the thousands of people who tuned in day after day to laugh at Jean and financially contributed to his mistreatment. Indeed.
Yeah, of course, like the audience doesn't help this anyway either. Just relishing in their torture-nography.
If you scroll through any of the Jean Palmanoff uploads on YouTube, you'll find plenty of people making jokes at his expense and encouraging.
It's just soft snuff, honestly, right? Because no one's dying, but you're getting to see someone tormented constantly on a daily / weekly basis.
Encouraging Naruto and Safin. Others still argue that Kick France, who were well aware of the Jean Parmenov streams, were...
What is Kick saying? Kick France. We're deeply saddened by the passing of Jean and extend our heartfelt condolences to his family, friends, and community. All co-streamers who participated in the live broadcast have been banned pending the ongoing investigation. We are committed to fully cooperating with the authorities in the process. Additionally, we have terminated our collaboration with the former French social media agency and are undertaking a comprehensive review of our French content. Okay, so what does all this mean? Like, really, we have... So everyone, hopefully everybody who is there, banned for now. They might come back if, like, the cops screw up. They've cooperating with authorities. Additionally, we terminated our collaboration with the social media agency. I'm assuming because they have a group and they have some sort of, like, collab with them? Question mark. So this, like, group is just completely cut off now. So no more extra money from that either.
Grossly negligent and should have shut them down rather than advertise them, which they...
Yeah, I mean, a long time ago. Where they're, like, showing off the Kick branded shirts with him. So the picture of him covered in black ink paint, wearing their Kick shirt. Like, I'm assuming this is like a picture on Kick's website or something of them selling this Kick logoed shirt, the JP version.
They did on social media time and time again, plastering Jean's bruised and muddied face on merch, comparing him to Deadpool, putting profits before people, and acting like a company straight from a Black Mirror episode. Kick has since banned Naruto and Safine's accounts, but though they initially took down the Jean Parmenov channel as well, it has since been reinstated. Unbelievably, Kick themselves deleted all of the clips showing Jean's obvious torture, only leaving behind the ones which fit with their narrative of consent, or to protect their own image. Aiden Ross, one of Kick's biggest streamers, and Drake,
I was like, what is he doing here?
who has business ties to Stake, the crypto gambling company behind Kick, announced that they would cover Raphael Gravin's funeral expenses, which to me reeks of PR damage control. France's digital ministry blasted the platform's moderation, and the site is now facing a potential $49.5 million fine. French regulators, Arcom, have also been dragged into this. Their role is to regulate online content, but despite Mediapart warning them almost a year earlier about the streams, they sat on their hands.
Wait, they were actually warned about this torturenography a long time ago? They didn't do anything about it? I mean, Kick is supposed to be the cool Twitch, right? Because Twitch has so many rules. You can't do anything, can't do this, can't do that. Every week they come out with a new rule. That's really stupid. But Kick is supposed to be the opposite of that, like where you can get away with a lot. Though, clearly, I think maybe we've flown too close to the sun with Kick, since we're allowing content like this to go through, which actually costs someone their lives, right? So yeah, something has to happen, of course. I don't have a horse in any of these races since I'm on YouTube. I don't plan to go to Twitch or Kick ever. You know, I'm just hunkered down here on YouTube, never trying to leave, at the expense of my, I don't know, you want to call it my content creator career? Question mark? I don't want to use the word career, but you know, I've hunkered down on YouTube and chosen YouTube as my champion, so I'm not really messing with any of that other stuff, co-streaming, any of that other nonsense. But again, back to Kick. Like, something does obviously need to be done about this. I wonder how far Kick is going to fall for what happened here with him. Is there going to be any serious consequences other than them just paying like X amount of money and then that's it? Or are they going to have like a massive rule overhaul / lose a lot of creators, a lot of money, past just paying the fine, or even be shut down? Like, who knows? But besides all of that, the business stuff, those two, at least 10. Come on, give them at least 10 in jail. Come on.
And politicians are weighing in, pushing for new internet regulations, like those recently implemented in the UK.
Okay, now we need to hold on. Because all the censorship and regulation nonsense, that's actually getting out of hand. I know I just said, like, maybe Kick needs to have, like, stronger rules or whatnot, but all the censorship and IDing and nonsense that's happening it's going too far. Though it seems like there's not much we can really do about that, and eventually you're just gonna have like an ID and be like over 100 years old if you want to use the internet.
Essentially using Raphael's death as a pretext for greater surveillance. Following Raphael's passing, prosecutors opened an investigation, not into murder, but into what's known as abuse of weakness, a charge that can only apply when someone is manipulated or exploited, especially while in a vulnerable state. That investigation is still ongoing, though as of today, neither Naruto, Safine, or anyone else has faced criminal charges.
I mean, it just happened, so we don't really have. We're not really going to get a closure to this anytime soon. It's just happened too early. It literally was a few days/weeks ago that this happened.
Their lawyers continue to insist that Raphael passed naturally from health complications, and that he consented to everything that happened on stream.
See, that's what I'm saying. The stupid thing of them forcibly trying to get him to consent. I feel like that's you're coercing someone to consent to something, which is not consent.
That's the
You're... What's the word? It's not extorting. Yeah, he's being coerced. He was coerced into it, so I feel like that shouldn't hold up in court.
Raphael passed naturally from health complications, and that he consented to everything that happened on stream. That's despite the fact that in France, you can't legally consent to being tortured, beaten.
Yeah. Not to mention that didn't even cross my mind, but yeah. You can't consent to being... What he's saying can be consent to being killed.
Or seriously harmed. They're now playing the sympathy card, claiming to be the targets of cyberbullying. During Jean's funeral, which Naruto and Safine attended, JP's mother raised eyebrows when she spoke in their defense. Despite receiving Jean's final text message and watching her son's final stream, she said, "Naruto and Safine took good care of my son, just as I did. They have values. JP was able to do things with them that he wasn't able to do back home. They never mistreated him, except once in the gym."
Have you not seen the streams?
What happens in the live stream is in the live stream. What happens off the live stream is off the live stream. When they go home, they don't take their work home with them. In stark contrast, JP's sister described their behavior as unacceptable. To some, the Jean Parmenov stream was a tragic accident, an exhausted but consenting man whose body finally gave out. But I think it's obvious that this was something much darker. In my opinion, and I stress opinion, Jean was broken down by a group of men much younger than him, both physically and mentally, for financial gain.
Yep.
He was beaten as a teenager, harassed during his years in the army, and
I was saying, wait, beaten as a teenager? Where do we get that info? Does his mom do that to him? Like, who did that? Though, anyway, same point though. His entire life, he was bullied. And literally then bullied to death. It's like, this guy's life was just like, so horrible.
And exploited on stream by people pretending to be his friends. As one YouTube comment on Charlie's coverage of this story.
What? He's already talked about it?
On stream by people pretending to be his friends. As one YouTube comment on Charlie's coverage of this story put it, he was killed on the inside before his actual death. And worryingly, it's now looking like he'll be let down by the system, too. Patreon support.
What is this? I was like, what is this?
May remember me covering This Is Not a Cult.xyz in an exclusive segment. Well, there's since been an update. So for those of you who missed it, here's a recap.
This is not a cult. That sounds familiar. Not that I've seen his video. It's not like I have his Patreon. I don't have any Patreon. I don't know if I even have a Patreon account. But this is not a cult. That phrase sounds familiar.
If you visit the ominous-sounding website, thisisnotacult.xyz, the only thing you'll be met with is a black screen with a play icon. No text, no context, just an eerie message in the address bar.
We found you.
And an invitation to click.
I think you have to be careful with these kinds of things. Oh, there's some backwards audio playing there. But if you believe in like supernatural stuff, I feel like the digital age of supernatural stuff could be a thing. And you should be wary of just watching random stuff. Not necessarily the Ring level things, right? But still, at least add some superstition to these things. you show this? What is... I mean, maybe this isn't anything crazy, but... What if that's a corpse? Like... Lazy? What do you... Hello? What if that's a corpse, Lazy? You better know that's not a corpse. Are we just playing the entire video? Also, what was that frame there? Like it switched color for a second, like the night vision turned off for a split second. There's another flash there I didn't see. Some more backwards played sounds.
The only thing hosted on this website is the dedicated video you've just seen, which has to be one of the more unsettling things I've watched in a while. It opens with silence and a static-filled screen. After almost 20 seconds, a close-up of what appears to be a mummified face fills off the screen.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like you can't just be showing that kind of thing, right?
The nose appears flattened. The teeth jut out. The eyes are wide open, but vacant. The figure doesn't blink, doesn't breathe, doesn't move at all. But the changing camera angle and lighting indicates that this isn't a still frame. It's a genuine video recording, made by someone standing over the figure.
I mean, they could just add a jitter shake to the camera. Like, that's also a thing in post. Just add some jitter.
As for the audio, there are only 2 tracks. One a haunting gospel choir, and the other, which on first listen, sounds like a chimp grunting and screaming. But after looping it for a few times, you start to get the impression that something's off. So let's reverse the audio.
What do you mean? You listen to it a few times. As soon as the video played, you can hear audio being played in reverse. Like, what? That's the first thing I noticed. This literal second the video started, I'm like, that's reversed. And then later on, there's something else also reversed.
Okay, so definitely not chimp-like. If we speed it up slightly, it becomes even more clear.
Well, yeah, I mean, I even assumed that those noises were reversed as well, but can you go back to the very beginning and play that? Because there's some reversed verbiage at the beginning of this video. And there's also like a later sound. It might just be a sound, but there's a sound that's also heavily reversed as well. I mean, everything's reversed, but like, go back to the beginning, crank the audio up, and reverse the entire thing.
That confirms, in my mind, that the grunts are indeed the cries of a human being, laid atop a piece of music. In between the screams are rattling clangs, as if being made by someone in a cage, and the distinct sound of someone fiddling with recording equipment. There's since been a concerted effort to identify the angelic piece of music that plays in the background, with hundreds of people scouring YouTube and Spotify in search of this hauntingly beautiful track. But thus far, nobody's been able to find it.
Flashing lights, warning, for some reason.
After repeated listens, I think the lyrics begin with, "He's my Lord, he's my savior in this world, Prince of Peace."
Okay, and Lazy, you're the one who's adding the flashing lights. You didn't need to do that. Like, you made the conscious decision to do that.
Typing those into Google doesn't yield any solid leads though. But then again, I'm not confident that my interpretation is even remotely accurate.
It sounds like that, but confirmation bias, being told what a sound sounds like, makes you think that sound is that sound.
As unsettling as this whole video is, if we look into the domain itself, we can see that thisisnotacult.xyz is a bare-bones Wix premium site that was registered in Toronto, Canada back in 2023, but that's currently being hosted in Kansas City, USA. Browsing through the HTML code, we can see that there are a couple of Easter eggs hidden inside. Too creepy, but obviously AI-generated
Some AI stuff.
images. Digging deeper, we can see that the site has an exposed but broken shopping page, which the creator seemingly forgot to hide.
Is it just like not making the site well enough? Like it's just there accidentally, they forgot to remove it? Like they weren't intending to sell anything, it's just they're just using a website to make a website. They're using Wix to make a website. And it might just come with like a template, and they forgot to remove that.
The mundane and clumsy setup of the site strongly indicates to me that it's the early breadcrumb of an ARG, or an eccentric digital art project. Still, it wouldn't be the first time that an analog horror series exploited genuine snuff audio and visuals. But in my honest opinion, as detailed as the figure is, its nose, or more specifically, the septum, appears extremely fake.
It looks like clay or something, but who knows? The fact that he keeps showing it, it makes it seem like it is fake. Because he wouldn't be able to do that. He'd be in trouble if he was showing a real body. But it does look like it's some sort of clay.
Although I don't think these are prosthetics, because the figure remains far too still, I suspect that this is a prop head, similar to those made by Close Casket Studios. Perhaps one that's been modified, with glass beads put in the eye sockets. That, or it's a homemade papier-mâché creation. Because of the use of...
What? What do you... I think he just said papier-mâché. Which his accents, or just however they say it over there, is just like, what the heck did you just even say? But I think he just said papier-mâché.
Night vision. Some have suggested that this was a bizarre marketing campaign for a game in the Outlast series.
Outlast, the original Outlast, is like 1 billion years old at this point.
Some have speculated Outlast 2, though that game came out in 2017, and the
They're also old? I don't remember this in Outlast 2.
website was registered in November 2023. So
It's been a long time, though.
correct. It would have had to have been for 2024's The Outlast Trials.
Yeah, I mean, this is the newest thing that came out. It's like a... You could argue this is a live service game, so they're still updating this one, because it's a multiplayer horror game.
If that's the case, then this attempt at viral marketing didn't pay off, as I haven't seen many content creators covering This Is Not a Cult.xyz. There's also no link to the game on the website, and I doubt a professional developer would use Wix. It's more likely that the grainy night vision aesthetic was used to simply mask the more unrealistic parts of the prop itself, and to make the visuals more spooky. Interestingly, there was a musical called Not a Cult, which held performances in Toronto during November 2024, exactly 1 year after the website appeared. Given that the site was registered in Toronto, it would be a huge coincidence if it weren't connected to the show. Thing is, from what I've read, the musical's described as a dark and camp comedy, a far cry from the website's grim and joyless tone. There was also this Atlanta-based series of events in July 2024. Its name? This Is Not a Cult. From what I can tell though, it was an immersive experience run by the You Did This theatre company, in which the audience could build their own cult together. Again, the show emphasized the comedy of cultdom by urging participants to drink the Kool-Aid, so although the name matches, and the timing broadly syncs up with the creation of the website, I'm leaning towards this being yet another coincidence. One of the few YouTubers who has covered this mystery is Podrocker, and while browsing the comment section beneath his video, I noticed this user,
Can you hear the call of God?
him, leaving ominous remarks. Clicking on his channel, him's bio links to This Is Not a Cult.xyz. The only video on his channel is this psychedelic upload, which, when sped up, reveals a hidden message.
Hallelujah? Hallelujah?
Following that discovery, more hidden elements of the site were unearthed. In June of this year, Mag2K made a post over on Reddit, detailing how if you add /WeFoundYou to the URL, a new page reveals itself, which seems to scroll on infinitely. The title of the page? 1H, 1M, 1S.
1 hour, 1 minute, 1 second. Though, is it actually infinite? Has anyone just went to that website and just held down the scroll and just left it there? infinitely, there has to be an end to it, right? There's no way it's just generating that text as you scroll. I need someone to go to the website, no, middle mouse button, drag all the way down, and just have it automatically scroll, and just leave it there for hours. You might miss something, but you probably should be recording the experience, and just like let that sit there, record, and just hope that it hits a bottom at some point. Like someone needs to do that. Ever like really trying to investigate this? Not me though, since I mean I don't have the computer to really just sit there and do that for a billion hours. But someone could go do that.
Likely 1 hour, 1 minute, 1 second. But also,
Him?
Since
Well, there's a movie called Him coming out, right?
covering this a few months back, the mystery of This Is Not a Cult.xyz has been resolved. In a post over on the r/internet mysteries subreddit.
This Is Not a Cult? A creepy website that was a popular point of discussion a few months ago seems like it was viral marketing after all. I genuinely don't know if this is old news since I'm not super active on the sub, and I don't know if this fully warrants the solved flare since there may be more to it, but I thought I'd post about this in case no one else has. Tonight was a Scream Unseen showing at AMC theaters, which just means that you get to see an early screening of an unreleased film for like $5. The only caveat being that you don't know what the movie is when you buy your ticket. Tonight's movie, spoiler alert, was Bring Her Back, the follow-up to A24's horror film by the directors of Talk to Me. During the opening titles, a brief clip of a creepy, wriggling fetus creature with a grainy filter played, ending with the text, "This is not a cult.xyz" popped up on screen. I remember a lot of YouTubers talking about this website, which featured dark, grainy footage of what looked like a corpse a few months ago, and I wasn't sure if any more progress had been made into figuring out its deal, but it looks like it was a piece of viral marketing for this movie. There are similar creepy VHS footage scenes in the film itself as well, and without spoiling too much, decomposing corpses are pretty central to the whole story.
User Yarnface00 explained. I genuinely don't know if this is old news, since
he's
I'm not
reading
super
that.
active on this sub, and I don't know if this fully warrants
I didn't expect him to read it.
the solved flare. Scream Unseen showing at AMC. Caveat being that you don't know what the movie is when you buy your ticket,
Just gonna skip through a bunch of this since he's just reading it.
with a grainy filter blade, ending with the text, "This is not a cult.xyz."
It's barely in that
Sure if
second.
any more progress has been made into figuring out its deal, but it looks like it was a piece of viral marketing for this movie.
Again, I can't believe he's actually reading the whole thing.
Posing corpses are pretty central to the whole story. Well, that thankfully confirms that
He didn't read the last
Composing
sentence, so I guess I'll do it. Like I said, if this is old news, I apologize. But I had a little holy crud moment in the theater tonight when I saw that pop up on screen.
corpses are pretty central to the whole story. Well, that thankfully confirms that this isn't a real corpse, and that the website was indeed a marketing campaign. Not for the Outlast trials like I guessed, but for the horror movie Bring Her Back, directed by the Rakaraka Filippo brothers, who definitely have a substantial amount of ARG experience under their belts, having played a significant creative role in Ash vlogs. Indeed, eagle-eyed viewers noticed another URL hidden within the movie, which directed them to a Russian dark website, supposedly selling resurrection footage and evil blood, with a timer for users to make offers within. I'm personally pretty impressed by this marketing campaign. It's not only aesthetically disturbing, but extremely intricate, with hidden clues and iconography that are still being discovered. So though I don't typically cover ARGs on this channel, I thought I might make an exception for this one. Though I'd still like to know what that piece of choir music is.
I mean, they could have just made it themselves, right? If it's just for all this movie, they could just hire people to sing a new song. Okay, the last story for today now. The Jack
In
Froesi
2011, two men from
emails.
Pennsylvania received separate emails from their friend, Jack, referencing events that had either just happened or that only he could have known about. There was just one problem. Jack was dead. Jack Froese was a 32-year-old man from Dunmore, known by friends and family for his sarcastic sense of humour, his warmth, and his deep passion for life. In June 2011, Jack passed away suddenly from heart arrhythmia. His death came as a devastating shock to those close to him, and like many people who lose someone suddenly, his loved ones were left grappling with grief, unanswered questions, and the lingering desire for one more conversation. Several months after Jack's death, in November 2011, one of his closest childhood friends, a man named Tim Hart, was browsing through his inbox when he noticed an email with a concerning subject line.
I'm watching.
Okay, so who has access to this man's email?
Even more eerie was that the sender was Jack. A little freaked out, Tim opened the email.
Did you hear me? I'm at your house. Clean your fucking attic.
The body of the message hit Tim like a ton of bricks. He and Jack had spent plenty of time joking around in the attic, and on one of Jack's final visits before his death, they had laughed about how messy it was up there. Jack even joked
Okay, who heard that?
that he would clean it if Tim wouldn't. No one else could have known that detail.
Okay, that's weird. Though, just to, like try to figure out the M. Night Shyamalan twist, that is not him just actually still being alive and he faked his stuff. We're not going that route. We're going with this man not knowing if he was going to die. Maybe he knew he was going to die. I don't know. But this man sent him messages ahead of time. He scheduled these messages somehow to be sent at a later date, and so they were just still being sent periodically over time to him. He might have even like not known he was going to die. He just knew like, hey, let me send this message at this time because I'm going to show up to his house at that moment in time. Though I didn't catch how long this has been since he had died. So actually,
After Jack's death, in November 2011,
November 2011.
one of his closest childhood friends, a man named Tim Hart, was browsing through his inbox.
Hold on, we need more.
Arrhythmia. His death came as a devastating shock to those close to him, and like many people who lose someone suddenly, his loved ones were left grappling with grief, unanswered questions, and the lingering desire for one more conversation. Several months after Jack's death.
Okay, several months. So it's a bit harder for that because did he really schedule a message several months in advance, and then essentially to prank his friend, only for him to accidentally die somehow, or just die, and thus those messages come off way creepier than they were intended to be.
Out, Tim opened the email.
Did you hear me? I'm at your house. Clean your fucking attic.
The body of the message hit Tim like a ton of bricks. He and Jack had spent plenty of time joking around in the attic, and on one of Jack's final visits before his death, they had laughed about how messy it was up there. Jack even joked that he would clean it if Tim wouldn't. No one else could have known that detail. To Tim, the email felt far too specific to be coincidence. Desperate for answers, he replied, but received no response.
Yeah, because I think it's just scheduled.
Soon after, Jack's cousin, Jimmy McGraw, also received a message from him while he was still deeply in mourning.
Hey Jim, how you doing? I knew you were gonna break your ankle. Tried to warn you. Gotta be careful.
Yeah, no clue about that one though.
Jimmy had indeed broken his ankle just a week before that message arrived, long after Jack had passed away.
I said now we're in a situation like, okay, what's going on? Because the first one could be seen as just, okay, he just scheduled messages but then accidentally died or what have you. But this one is a event that had happened after his death happened. So there's no way he could have scheduled a message about something that he has no knowledge of.
And the strange timing of the email made it all the more difficult to dismiss. Like many unexplained digital events, theories abound. Given his sense of humour, the most rational explanation is that Jack had written drafts or scheduled emails that only sent after his death.
Yeah, that's what I assumed, but this ankle thing happened after his death.
But Jack wasn't aware that he was about to die. His passing had been sudden and unexpected, and he wouldn't have had a reason to preemptively write the messages. Their specificity, with one
I mean, he could have been doing pranks, but the ankle one doesn't make sense when you use the prank kind of theory there.
referring to an event that occurred after he passed, preemptively write the messages. Their specificity, with one referring to an event that occurred after he passed, seemed to rule this theory out. Another possibility is that someone hacked or gained access to Jack's emails and sent them.
But then how do they quote-unquote know about this intimate moment with the other friend?
Messages as a cruel prank. However, Jack was tech-savvy, hadn't shared his password with anyone, and there was no evidence that someone had illicitly accessed his account. And even if they had, what would be the point of it? Certainly not infamy, as they never came forward, and stopped sending the messages abruptly. That, along with the personal nature of the content, with the first email referencing a conversation that Jack alone knew about, makes this explanation unsatisfying. Some of Jack's friends and family believe that the emails were a form of communication from beyond the grave.
Of course, but what's the actual thing?
To them, the messages felt less like the work of a troll, and more like personal reassurances from Jack himself, designed to comfort those that he left behind. But skeptics suggest that grief can make people interpret coincidences as meaningful. The Jack Rose emails have become one of the most famous modern ghost stories on the internet, and in a world where our identities live on digitally long after we're gone, this mystery forces us to confront questions about technology and mortality. Though some websites delete the accounts of deceased users after receiving proof of death, or after long periods of inactivity.
This story's almost gone, so I'm guessing we're just not going to get any info on that. I feel like I probably have heard this before, though. The old story of person dies, other people get messages from them where the deceased should not know what should have happened, but also knows information that only that person knows, so it's no way it's not the person. And yet the person's gone, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I wish we'd actually have closure to this, but there's nowhere really closure in like 3 minutes. Less than 3 minutes.
Others allow them to gather dust and become part of the great digital graveyard, perhaps leaving them vulnerable to access. Though some view the messages as disturbing, for Jack's cousin, Jimmy, they've been more of a comfort than anything else. "I like to think that Jack sent them," he said.
But how many are you getting, though? We only mentioned two. We only mentioned 2 messages. Are you still getting messages to today? Today? Like, what's going on there?
"It's like he's gone, but still trying to reach out, trying to tell me to move forward, to feel better." Even Jack's mother chose to see them as a kind of gift. "I saw they made some people happy," she said. "They upset some people too, but at least people were still talking about him." That quote has led some to come up with a new theory, that the person behind the emails was actually Jack's own mum. Given his sudden passing, his accounts likely would have still been open on his laptop.
I mean, maybe that makes sense. Arguably, that does make a lot of sense, assuming that he was telling his mom things about his friends and whatnot, right? So, that makes more sense. Unfortunately, that kind of just completely dispels the interesting, creepy nature of this entire story, unfortunately, but yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
While cleaning house, she may well have come across the open email tab and thought that by sending the messages, she might be able to cheer up his friends and keep his memory alive, and didn't anticipate the amount of tension the story would attract, nor the amount of pushback. Until proven one way or the other, the Jack Frost emails remain an eerie piece of internet folklore. I first learned about them over on the Chill Fuel YouTube channel. He covers a wide range of internet mysteries with a really cool pixel art style. Be sure to check him out through the link down below.
Chill Fuel. Okay, so that is that video. But yeah, it started off really, really rough with the guy being, dismembered by a train. And then the guy who got only a year for essentially, desecrating a corpse, cannibalism, etc., gets like a year, possibly even less, because I was confused on if he got off with good behavior, but really, that's it. And then this one really ticked me off, because I already knew about it, but it's just really, this guy is basically being the main center of torture pornography for 6 years, literally dies on live stream, whilst people who were in that live stream were literally telling him, if you die, it's not our fault, and you didn't make sure that you say it's not our fault on camera. Really? Basically just making it seem like they were trying to kill him and get away with it. Literally trying to get away with murder live on camera. But yeah, this one kind of ticked me off. This is not a cult, this is kind of just cool, I guess. And this one is just really interesting, the ghost emails. But again, the fact that it could have been the mom just completely disillusions the entire story. It's ugh, man, really? But, oh well. Yeah, that was that video. See you guys thanks for watching. Remember to buy my stickers or think about becoming a member. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Makes it working on watch time and subscribers. And shout out to the members, EmmyStarr, RaleyDrew, and alexgkiller 880. But yeah, again, I will try to do the newest Rotten Mango video tomorrow. I know it probably stung to not do it today and do this instead. I assume people already have their torches and pitchforks out about the fact that I haven't done one of her videos in 4 days. It's going to end up being 5 tomorrow. Just give me a second to get back to it. No, just give me a breather. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Tune into the next episode. Like, subscribe, hype, and comment. And to do. See ya.